How's it going, everyone? Anthony Taylor here, broadcasting live from New York City. I just had a really cool meetup, I guess, earlier this morning. Got to go to a Founder Friday event where they have different CEOs and founders come to talk. And today's event was the founder of x.ai. So it's an artificial intelligence bot program to help you schedule meetings, and her name is Amy. And so what was really interesting, this guy had 2 exits under his belt, one or two more or less successfully, and it was just really interesting to hear about his founder experience. And a lot of it came down to culture. And at SME Strategy we talk about how do you make culture and strategy, and how do you put them together to drive results. So some of the things that he was sharing about was transparency. In that when he does his meetings, he actually brings up the bank account on the screen to show everybody. And the reason is he doesn't think why would I not do that? By doing that, I only increase the likelihood that people are going to buy in. There's no conceivably bad thing. So the pros of it outweigh the bad and increase the likelihood of success. So for him, that's transparency. He also shows one single metric. So for them, the single metric that they had was how many meetings they booked. And when we talk about setting KPIs and doing that with your team, it's how does your team know they're going to be successful at implementing the strategy. So for him, or for their company, they have 3 giant screens, and they just say giant number in 400 fonts saying, this is our key metric right here. Another one, they had a pledge. So it was basically a contract, but a non-legally binding contract to say, these are some of the things that we expect of you if you're going to be successful in this organization and in this role, and sign it. It's not legally binding. It's basically just, these are our values and we expect them to. And he told us a story about one engineer who, after a week, handed in his key card and the pledge that was signed, and he said, this is not the right fit for me. And that's just so cool about a culture where you're able to drive that, and it really ties into performance because people know what they're signing up for and what the expectations are of them. And then you sign it to say, do you agree or do you not? None of this in the middle sort of stuff. And the other part was just being a leader. And as if he doesn't believe it, how can he tell anybody else to believe it? So just being 100% backed by that he has to drive everything. And then talking about culture and problems with bad apples, and that he, as a CEO, is the last person to find out when there's a problem. And so having the right people, onboarding the right people, having the right attitudes and values, and not compromising, because if you put a poison apple in the whole fray, then it ruins the whole bunch. And then as the CEO, you don't hear about all those conversations. It will eventually get to you, but by the time it gets to you as the CEO, it's just a little too late. So, and it poisons the rest of the team. So that's what I learned today from a CEO, x.ai, very cool company, seasoned veteran, and a company that is doing some serious numbers. So you can learn from him, take that into your own organization, and I hope that helps you create a little bit of culture in your organization in a short little bit. Enjoy the rest of the day, everybody.